in the environment we were in to be out on so many combat missions. I had logged in over 30 some combat missions with my soldiers. I wasn't a first sergeant that sat behind the desk, even though I had buku administrative paperwork and all kinds of everything else that I was in charge of. I, again, with my brother, Captain Griner, allowing me to be out there with our soldiers and ensuring that we were running and conducting combat operations the way we were supposed to.
All right, we're at 55 minutes.
Okay.
Are there a couple, is there a story you want to tell us that we haven't, that the people might find interesting?
Funny stories or
Any
serious stories?
that is.
Well, that question kind of took me by surprise, Mike.
Tell me about the time that the boy got burnt and you called in the medevac. Sad story.
Horrible story. I it's
It's war.
it is it's war, but that was a tragic accident, and I swallow hard now because
If you don't want to talk
no
about it.
I'm good to talk about it, but I swallow hard because when I can still smell it. I can almost taste it. Never have I ever seen a human body burned like that young man. He was probably 12, 13 years old. You got to understand the Afghan people at 7, 8 years old. Those boys are working. You know, they're workers. Whatever their family may be. This particular young man, his father owned a local gas station, as you would think a gas station here. They had a fuel truck at the gas station, filling up their fuel barrels, and this is right outside our base. Our base was in Zorma, which was a small village, and it was right on the edge of the town of Zorma, and our base was actually Combat Outpost Zorma. So those locals we seen and got to know, and I mean we lived in their community, except we had great big barriers around our base. They would come to us. They knew that we had a level 2 medical facility on our base, which means we had a I don't recall what he wasn't a surgeon, but he was a doctor, but he couldn't perform surgeries. If they needed a surgery, they would go on to higher care. This young man was helping his dad at the gas station, and he used a pipe or something to from what I understand, loosen a cap, like you would use a butter knife to hit it on top of the peanut butter jar lid to get it loose. He used this pipe, and he had gas on his Afghan clothing, which is very, very loose fitting type of clothing. He had gotten gas on his clothing, had it on his hands. You know, this is what they did. They filled gas cans and you know, it ain't like going down to the local Casey's. It's a very old. If you can envision what gas stations were like when they first became gas stations back whenever that happened in the early 1900s, or and it sparked basically and lit him on fire, burned his clothes off him. The end state was he was brought to Cop Zorma, and I thought it had happened on our base at the time. I was in our office in our operations center. We had patrols out, so I was managing those, and you know, the word came into our operations center that we have a young man that's probably 100% burned coming to the aid station. Well, we had local Afghans working on our base. We had fuel trucks, we had generators, so I thought it was somebody from the base. When I got in there, there was an Afghan family, dad, two brothers, a mom, and this Afghan boy laid out. And by the time I got into our aid station, the doc, I don't recall if he had clothes on or if they stripped his clothes off him, but he was laying there completely naked, and about 90, I would say 90% burned, but still alive. Now we had determined that he probably inhaled flame, so his lungs were probably burnt inside. You know, it's very very hard to describe. I can picture it in my mind as clear as it happened yesterday, but it's hard to describe what he looked like. But to look in his parents' eyes and to feel what they were feeling was very strange, because there was a sense of hopelessness.
Just ran out of tape.
Yeah.